Hey folks, welcome back to Wheelin the Rig. It's been a minute since we've had an episode, and even though it's been that long, we haven't forgot about what we were our goal was initially, and that was to start reviewing all of the apparatus that we have. When we started with E1s, then we went to the SAMs and we did the tankers, and last but not least, we're getting back to the rescue squads. So joining me today is Captain Mike Green, and obviously, as always, the better half, Chief Bush. So welcome, gentlemen, back to the show. Um, Chief Bush,
Thanks, David.
congratulations on your new role. I'm sure maybe we'll touch base on that a little bit later. And Captain Green, good to have you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, great to be
So
here.
yeah, so we're trying this new remote uh, way of doing things. So bear with us if there's a little bit of technical difficulties. But just some new stuff that 1075 Media is trying to put out, and that's just to get some outside people maybe coming in and joining us for some other conversations. So Captain Green and I think it was back in April, right? I think it was April. I think it was still cold out. I think we were at the academy and we did an overview of Rescue Squad 29. So we have a decent length video to show you guys. And after that, any questions? Obviously, the chat's open. Please throw something out there if you have a question while we have Captain Green here to give us any more information that's not on there for the squads. And that's what I have for right now. Chief, got anything before we get started on the video?
No, I think this is a little bit overdue. Obviously, the three squads that Captain Green and his committee worked on have been in service for just a couple of minutes. It wasn't intentional or meant to be an oversight. It's just when we were able to get to it. But I do want to give credit to Mike and Chief Fitch and the other members of the committee. Of course, Chief Fitch and Chief Friedman, who was my predecessor at Apparatus, are now retired, but they worked really hard to get these things up and running. And when we look at the rig and we see how well it's laid out and all the great equipment that it carries, just understand these guys spent hours and hours trying to get it to work that way and to be able to hold everything that it does. So just want to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't been on a squad in a very very long time, so there was just a whole bunch of neat stuff on there that I thought was just the new it's the new squad life. There is a bunch of stuff on there. So hopefully for you folks like myself that don't get a chance to be around squads that much, you can check it out and see what they have in store. So, Captain Green, anything to add before we start?
No, I was just going to thank the rest of the committee members. The chief kind of did that. Chief Fitch was the representative from management. And then at the very end, I'd also like to thank Master Firefighter Mike Johns from 29C. We brought Mike in because, he's actually a driver. Monty and myself, we're both looking at it from the officer perspective mostly. So we brought in Mike Johns since he's a primary driver, and he helped us at the end, as well as Squad 17. We kind of turned that over to Captain Morgan Boyd and the guys at 17 to kind of take over that one since. If I'm sure everybody knows by now, it's just slightly different, a couple of modifications because of the size of Station 17. So guys kind of took that over and did a lot of the layout for that particular unit.
All right. Well, yeah, a lot of work got put into these, and I guess we'll take a look at the video.
All right, sounds good.
Hey guys, we're here at the training academy today. Thanks to Captain Green, we just wanted to take a better look at the squads. Obviously, they've been out for a while, but as we have went through with the tankers, and then we went through with E1s and the towers, now we're finally getting back and we're getting into some squad stuff. So with our squad guy here, Captain Mike Green,
Thank you.
he's actually was on the committee that built these and designed these squads. So we're going to get a quick look and an overview of these. But I had a couple questions for you first.
Okay.
So I know now recently they just switched out, and now Rescue Squad 29, right? It's just TRT only.
As staffing.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And is that the reasoning for that? Just so there's a go-to technical specialty, or?
I think it's multifaceted, I guess. It's number one, because there's never a guarantee that the proper personnel are going to be in 31. If they're out on calls, they may not be able to get the tech rescue unit out.
Okay.
You know, if they're already on something else, so they have a backup plan to, you know, get somebody there that has, you know, the qualifications or expertise, whatever you want to call it, to get some things, you know, started from an initial perspective. And there's already a lot of that equipment on here as well. So they just tried to match up the qualifications of the personnel with the equipment that was being carried.
All right, cool. So we're gonna get started. We'll take a little bit of a look. So yeah, so looking again at the squads and the significance of the squads, right? So I know you guys are doing some training right now, but basic wrecks and stuff like that on the Beltway, for the most part, the truck companies can handle. But when things get a little bit more in depth, right, that's when the squad comes in.
Yeah, so I think that a way to look at that would be light versus heavy extrication. Right?
Okay.
The trucks are set up to handle most, you know, vehicle extrications, whether it be one car, two cars, whatever. We set these up to be able to handle the heavy extrication. So if it's a dump truck or a tractor trailer or something of that nature, we're kind of set up to you know, deal with stuff like that.
So like most of the trucks right now, everything on this is battery, right?
Right. There's only two tools on here from what I remember that actually use a generator or electric power. One is the plasma cutter, which is sitting back here,
Okay.
and the other is actually a concrete rotary hammer and chipper that is actually in the same compartment. But everything else on here is battery. That's the only reason it even has a generator really these days is, A, as a backup, because some of them will use a corded power supply as well, but they're all, this thing's pretty much 99% battery.
All right, so we'll get a better look. I guess it's some more stuff talking about things that are more in depth. Obviously, a lot more cribbing on this, and then I'll let you kind of
Yeah,
take
well,
it away.
I think a lot of the differences, there are some equipment differences, but a lot of it is in the quantity.
Okay.
So I think the trucks pretty much have a spreader, a cutter, you know, a set of rams, that kind of thing. Everything on here is in duplicate. So there's two full-size spreaders, there's two combi tools, there's two small cutters, there's two large cutters, there's two short rams, two long rams. So everything's kind of doubled up. So, you know, A, if anything goes down or breaks, we've got a backup. B, if we've got multiple personnel on scene, we can split it up and have people cutting, people spreading on both sides of the car at the same time.
Or multiple cars, right?
Or multiple cars, right? And the same thing with the cribbing, right? So this setup here is duplicated on the other side. So, you know, we have a number of 6x6s that we did not have before on the old squads. We've got more 4x4s, we've got more wedges, more 2x4s, that sort of thing. So that's always a big deal as well, as, you know, having enough cribbing for, you know, a car that's 3 or 4 feet off the ground or something like that.
Okay. And then as far as we were talking about a little bit before, I think we started taping, but we talked about the difference in the squads. So we have, you said Rescue Squad 29 and Rescue Squad 3 are identical?
Identical, yep. And Rescue Squad 17, which wherever that's going to end up, right, is very similar.
Okay.
In essence, from the rear to right in front of the tandem axle there, these three compartments are identical. The rear compartment is identical because Station 17 was a little bit smaller footprint.
Okay.
It had to shorten it up a little bit, had to shorten the height a little bit. So the two compartments here in the front are different.
Okay.
And we kind of farmed that out to Station 17 to design that as they saw fit. So I can't tell you exactly how they have that laid out, but yeah, it's a little different from the front tandem or the front tandem axle and forward.
And now in this squad, you have this back compartment here, right?
You talking about the inside compartment?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have what's called a partial walkthrough. It is a single compartment, if you will, on the inside that's accessible from the crew cab area. and that is set up to carry it's compartmentation as well as what we refer to as a changing area.
Okay.
So part of the problem with the last set of units was that if you needed to use any of the water or ice rescue PPE, you kind of had to do that standing on the ground.
Right.
We had an incident where that didn't fare so well because some of the suits got punctured a number of years ago, and caused some problems. So now we have an area where you can do that out of the weather, out of the sharp objects, rocks, and stuff like that. So not only is the equipment stored there, but there's a bench in there to sit down and put that PPE on. And then it's also set up so that once that PPE has been used, it can be cleaned and hung to dry in there, so you don't have to worry about it being in the station should you get another call.
Okay.
And we have fans in there to dry it out, as well as drains in the floor for the water to drip in. And so, yeah, it's fairly well thought out, I'd like to think.
Sure.
And yeah, so that's kind of what that's for. I know that some other stuff gets stuck in there, stored from time to time.
Yeah, well,
gear
yeah,
bags,
yeah.
TRT bags, that kind of thing. But yeah.
Very convenient. Very convenient. So, okay, and then other than obviously we got all this extrication, we have all these struts and cribbing, but the big difference with these, and we talk about when you're talking about heavy and light as far as rescue goes, is the lifting capacities of these.
Yeah, so with regard to the struts, the trucks are carrying what Paratech refers to as the rescue strut. That's the gray ones. We also have what they call the longshore struts.
Okay.
So that's the gold series.
Okay.
So we're carrying the gold series in addition to the gray series. They have not only a longer strut, but it's also a slightly larger diameter. So it carries about double the working load of what a gray strut will carry.
So what is that?
So so the basis for all those struts is 4 feet. Okay. So at 4 feet, a gray strut will hold 20,000 pounds. A gold will hold 40.
Okay.
And then it just, like anything else, it goes down the longer you get.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So in addition to the front and rear apparatus mounted winches, we have a portable winch. This is a 5,000 pound winch made by Super Winch. We use the same synthetic plasma rope that is used on the other two winches. It's just a smaller size, but it's 5,000 pounds. And we can take this in this little portable battery pack along with this little accessory kit that has, some slings and shackles to attach it to a tree or a vehicle or a structural column or whatever inside of a building in a wooded area, whatever the case may be. And you have 5,000, you add a snatch block, now you got 10,000. So okay. It's all pretty portable. So
all right.
So another new component with the Paratech stuff is the monopod, the bipod, and the tripod kit. So we have a monopod. It's actually all in the same kit. But this black bag right here has all three of those. You can take a Gold Series strut. You can put a single monopod head on a single strut and use that for a number of things. There is a base plate here that plugs into the side of the apparatus, and it can be used to lift something off the side of the apparatus. We've done that a number of times in training, and works really well. If you're not close to the rig, you can use the bipod setup, which is 2 legs, and that would just be controlled with a grip hoist or something like that. And then there's also a tripod, and most of us think of a tripod as a thing to lower people into a confined space or something like that, which we have, but we also have a Paratech tripod that is for supporting large loads. So it's rated for 11,000 pounds. So you could literally take that thing and put it underneath of a house that somebody just drove a car in, like they did a few weeks ago. You could take care of that as well with a tripod set up for heavy loads. I think the other thing would be that the trucks have all the small 1/4-inch chain, and we have that as well as the 3/8.
Okay. Yeah.
And what's supposed to be up here is a larger size chain, but it's synthetic. Okay. They haven't bought it yet. It's been 3 years, but they haven't bought it yet.
Okay.
But that's even stronger than this metal chain.
Okay. And you would use those more for
again the heavy extrication if you got to stabilize or
some sort of like
tie back a heavy truck or something like that. Yeah.
Right. All right.
Okay, so another new tool that we picked up for the Paratech struts is something called the strut driver, and it basically gives us the ability to lift with a strut as well as stabilize. Oh. So this you can get it permanently on a strut. We got an attachment, so we can put it on basically any of our struts. It does require I take that back. We can put it on 3 sizes of our struts, the 3 longest sizes, because it takes a special collar. So we couldn't just put this on one of the trucks because the collars we've changed those out and they're different. But once you put it on, you can simply crank it up and get a 6,000-pound lift just using this. Or we also have an attachment for our cordless drill. We can just plug that in and run it right up with the cordless drill.
Nice. I'm sure that now with doing that, obviously you're worried about other stabilization, so you're still
you still have to stabilize it, right? But the thing is, you still have the power of the strut to stabilize.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So it would just not be a backup system, so to speak, right? Normally we're thinking about a strut as a backup system to an airbag or a lifting cylinder or something like that. With this, you still have the strut still locks, right? But you're all on one point.
Right.
So if that point were to crush or give way or something, you wouldn't have backup unless you had a second strut.
So specific just to the rescue squads, struts themselves, so it's not going to be interchangeable.
Yep,
so
and this only works on the gray struts.
Okay, yep.
And then the other thing that we had talked about was the Hydrofusion.
Yeah.
The Hydrofusion is a Paratech product. It's a special strut that also lifts and stabilizes.
Oh, okay.
So as we talked about, the crews over there are actually using those right now. They would be right here with the rest of the gray struts. I know you guys said you were going to get some shots of that. So those guys are actually using that right now. But you can lift, with the Hydrofusion, you can lift 20,000 pounds with the hydraulic system that's within the strut and stabilize it as well. So there's 3 variations of that. We have the largest one, which is a 16-inch lift and stabilize at the same time.
So, and then
sure, the difference there.
As Captain Green said, that they're not interchangeable, and the difference, he said, is pretty easy. You can tell just with the color of the collar.
Yep, and the slot is a little bit different. The spanner slot is different. This is specifically sized for use with the strut driver. So we had to take all this apart. It had Loctite on it and set screws and all. We had to take it all apart, install these collars, and put it all back together.
Right.
So it's just the 2 of the larger size struts. So some of the additional cribbing capabilities that we have with this are lumber that's longer than the standard 2 feet. So we have 4-footers here, and they're stacked double layer. So there's some behind those as well. We also have 8-foot 4x4s. We have 8-foot 6x6s, 12-foot, and 16-foot.
Okay.
So we can use that if we need to span, something.
Right.
Or if we just needed extra cribbing and we exhausted everything else we have, we pull these out, we get the chainsaw out, and we got extra cribbing.
Okay.
So this is a 25,000-pound hydraulic winch. The old squads had a 20,000-pound hydraulic winch, so we upgraded by 5,000 pounds. But this one of the problems that we had was I had a manual clutch to engage the winch versus it in the freewheel position. Okay. So this has an air clutch, which makes it a whole lot easier. We literally had to do a pry bar a lot of times to get it engaged.
A lot smoother.
So yeah, everything here is air operated and makes it a whole lot easier. And then we also have a hydraulic winch on the front as well instead of an electric, and that's a 12,000. So we have a winch on the front and a winch on the rear, and we have a portable in the compartment behind you that can be run off of a little 12-volt battery. These are the only 2 struts, or sorry, the only 4 struts that are not in with the others. That's because they start at 10 feet long.
Oh, okay.
And then they go out to 16 feet.
All right.
So they don't fit in the side compartments. So there's 4 of those that we have that we can go. And
those are still
These are the gold series.
So they're still 40, is that what you said?
At 4 feet.
At 4 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would have to check the tag to see what it is when it goes all the way out to 16, but I think it's down to around 3,500 a piece.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's still pretty substantial.
Yeah. All right. So one of the other new products that we have, it's kind of, I'll say new on the market, they've been out for a couple of years, but is connectable airbags, basically. They call these the C-Tex. So the bag has an aluminum plate built into it. This is a special connector. You drop it in, and it locks in place. And then the next bag locks on top of it. And now you have 2 bags that are connected together. So that does 2 things for us. Number one, it gives us the ability to lift a little bit higher like you would stack any other airbags, but they're connected, so you don't have to worry about them, you know, sliding apart and whatnot. And also, because of the aluminum base that's on the top, you're limited to how much surface area you can lose as the bag begins to pillow out.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I've never seen those.
So these are 30-ton bags, but at a very minimum, they get 7 tons based upon the surface area of that plate. And they have these little rubber protectors that go on top of it to protect those. So they're pretty neat. So we have 2 sets of those.
So not being you know, into the squad stuff and into the squad world, do you guys find these like a good go-to for a lot of like lifting scenarios? Because they seem, I mean, it seems a lot simpler, but
it's simpler for when you're lifting something that's small and narrow. For example, if somebody's pinned underneath of an I-beam or something small like that,
sure,
you don't lose surface area as the bag wraps around it like a hot dog bun.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
because of the so that's kind of one of the big things with them. There was a call a number of years ago in, I think, Company 17's area, where they had just that. They had a like an excavator that the boom had fallen over onto a guy, and they were trying to, you know, having some trouble because they were trying to lift it with their bags, and it was just kind of wrapping around. Something like this would take care of that, because now you have a given amount of surface area and there's much less cupping of the bag.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty cool.
And technically, you can hook 3 of these together. I haven't found that to work the greatest, but it is allowable. Or you can hook 2 of them together, and
yeah, stability issue once it starts getting high.
Any airbag's going to get like that when you know, when you take it all the way up to its maximum height. But with 2, it works pretty well.
Okay. So 4 of these now, and this is on. So does 17 have these now, or did they do have them now?
As far as I know, they do.
Okay.
Yes, because
right.
it's from here back, so it should be the same.
Okay. All right. So now we're looking over here.
Yeah. So on the Pierce squads from 2008, we had lifting cylinders, hydraulic lifting cylinders. They were made by Hurst, you know, the same company that made our extrication tools at that time. We have switched over to a new brand. There's lots of companies out there that make these things, but this is an industrial brand. It's Enerpac, and they're actually a lot more versatile and actually a lot cheaper than, because when you put the fire rescue name on it, the price goes up by 3. Right. So the industrial side of things isn't quite that bad yet. So we have 6 cylinders, and they're either using 1 right now or they're down for maintenance. I'm not sure, but we have 2 cylinders that are capable of lifting 55 tons.
Okay.
So 110,000 to 10 inches. We have 2 that are good for 6 inches and 2 in the back here that are good for 8 inches. So, you know, the smaller ones would be used for metro incidents because you can't fit one this tall underneath the metro car.
Right.
We would start with these smaller ones, and then we could always build up if we needed to.
Okay.
Each one has a large base plate that goes underneath of it, you know, for stability issues. We also have what's commonly referred to as hockey puck cylinders.
Okay.
Right, but they're little small hydraulic cylinders that range from 7 to, this one is 48 tons.
Okay.
Right, and you can just keep leapfrogging, you know, because if this one won't fit, you start with one of these smaller ones.
Okay.
Like this.
Oh wow.
You get it underneath, come up a little bit, you get, you crib it up, you go to the next one, the next one, the next one, and then eventually you can get, something larger in, maybe a full-size airbag or a C-Tech bag, or, but they all work off the same system. We also have, with that system, these are called lifting wedges.
Huh. Okay.
So you can start out with a 1/4 of an inch gap and continue to lift. These are 14 tons a piece, and we have 2 of those.
So, and you guys, was this something when you were starting to make these squads that you just kind of did your research on and looked into and were like, you know what, this is cheaper, and it's got obviously a lot of capabilities. I mean,
well, one of the nice things about it is they're a lot lighter and a lot smaller.
Okay.
Because the Hurst cylinders were what we call a double acting cylinder. The pump pushes it up and pulls it back down as well. These are gravity down.
Okay.
So it's a little slower, but it takes some of the weight out of it. It makes it a little bit easier. But how we got turned on to these, actually, so where I live, I'm a volunteer, and we have an industrial facility there that uses a lot of this stuff, and we run a lot of calls there. So we've got to see those in action over the years, and we've got to use them. So we got to talking to those folks, and we ended up switching everything over to Enerpac up at that volunteer station. And when we built these squads, we went the same route. So they're yeah, again, very good brand. And so with the pumps, they're all battery as well. So these are small pumps that actually work off of our Milwaukee M28 batteries.
Oh, all right.
And you can carry a pump in a hand and a cylinder in a hand, and off you go. Right? We have hoses as small as 6 feet, as long as 50 feet.
And the hoses are specific for the Enerpack, right?
Yep,
So
yep,
you
and they're
can't-
the same. It's just an industrial hose. Uses exact same couplings that our Rabbit tool uses.
Okay.
Use exact same couplings that the hydrofusions use that these guys are playing with over here right now. And then we have the larger pump that'll run up to 4 cylinders. Got a manifold. We can run 4 cylinders off of it at one time, and you know, pretty much control a lift infinitely. So yeah, and these run off of a little Briggs and Stratton 82-volt lawnmower battery.
Oh wow.
So
So is this like the go-to now? Like if you had to do like metro, any type of metro lift or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
this is
I
pretty much
mean,
kind
yeah,
of the
I
go-to
would
for
start
that.
with one of these small 6-inch cylinders because they'll fit underneath the car, and it's pretty quick operation at that point.
All right. So it's a lot of stuff. And I'm sure that we could probably stay up here and mess with this for another couple hours, but we're not going to do that.
I think Mandy's having some technical issues, so she may have to sign off and sign back on. But yeah,
John, I think I got a message earlier that the producer had muted us, which I'm assuming is you. I don't know if you muted her and she doesn't know it.
okay. Well, Mike, I had a question just to follow up. Can you talk about the power plants and the air compressor that are on these things?
Yes. So we basically have a primary and a backup generator for electrical power. The primary generator is a 35 kilowatt Onan, which is the exact same model that was on the 2008 Pierce squads. So that has not changed. And then we have a 22 kilowatt diesel backup generator. You cannot see it because it was purposefully built within the center of the rig. There are numerous panels that open up to get to it if the mechanics need to get to it or something. But it's basically all internal, using up the space in the center of the box, so that we kind of used every inch of space, so to speak. So we have a primary and a backup electrical generator, and then the air compressor, which actually is the third thing that works off of the electrical power, is mounted in the top. And gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the exact number, but if I recall, it's around 27 CFMs at 175 psi. So it's roughly double the size of the compressor that we had before. It requires much less in the way of air storage. There are a couple of small tanks mounted in the ceiling to have a little bit of storage of air, but most of it comes directly from the compressor.
Yeah, so that was an interesting point you brought up about utilizing all the space. I remember coming in at the tail end of that project and doing the final inspection at the factory, and even behind the compartments, there is nothing that's wasted in terms of space utilization. It's
Yeah,
I think
and
they
I
did a
think
pretty
that's
good job of
what tends. Sorry.
sorry,
Yeah,
go
I think
ahead.
that's what tends to happen with a lot of units, whether it be engines, truck squads, or what have you. Is you kind of only think about the space that's right there in front of you in the compartment, but when you start looking above those compartments, behind those compartments, there's a ton of space there. So Rescue One did a very nice job. That's the name of the company that built those for us. They did a really nice job of helping us build into those spaces that aren't so apparent, and allowing us to use almost every square inch.
Yeah, that's awesome. There are a couple other folks that did a lot of work. Uh, Sourcing the equipment was, let's just say, challenging at times. So uh, Chief Coletti and Captain Poist at Small Tools, and later on Mr. Zimmerman, and then Shireen Blanton is retired now, but she all those folks did a lot to try to make sure that the squad was or the squads were equipped. And as Mike referred to in the video, that's an effort that's still ongoing. Unfortunately, Montgomery County procurement is not easy, and especially when you get to some of these specialty items that are just sole source or something like that. And then, of course, Crew Chief Danny Dean has been uh, really instrumental to all of our special services in the specification and build process in terms of making sure that they turn out right. Um, Mandy, are you still able to speak now, or are you still mute?
Chief, want to give a shout out to Ernie Kraus, the CMF as well. He was a big help to us throughout this process. He was a part of the committee. Actually started as Robert Haas before he retired, and then Ernie took over for him. And a huge wealth of knowledge, and was a big help for us as well.
Okay. Yep. Very true. I don't see that we had any questions in the chat, unless you guys are seeing something. All right. Uh, so not hearing any questions. All right. So sorry for the technical difficulties. Like Mandy mentioned at the top of the hour, this is our first outing with this technology. So clearly we have some more work to do. So I just wanted to take a couple seconds to talk about a couple things. Obviously, this is my first day as the ops chief, and just we celebrated Chief Cooper's career yesterday, along with Captain Mike Crawford and Master Firefighter Chuck Farkas. So it was a busy day. Wishing people well, but Chief Cooper is leaving a pretty strong legacy. One of the things that the ops team has been working on is making sure that Squad 29 is staffed with TRT folks. So there was a pilot project that did that, and now that's in place full time. So there's always going to be 2 TRT members and a TRT officer, and part of the intention there is Mike, you talked about the difference between the trucks and the squad being light extrication versus heavy extrication. The squad can do a lot more than just heavy extrication, isn't that right?
Yes, and that's one of the comments that we get from time to times. There's some folks that say they're too big, they carry too much, or why do they carry all this tech rescue stuff when we have a tech rescue truck? The way that I presented it when we did the first round of training 3 years ago when these came out was, the way I think of it is if that's your mom or your daughter or your wife that's in that car, you want us to have every resource imaginable to be able to get those folks out in a timely manner. So that's kind of why they were set up the way they were set up. That's why they're a little bigger than the ones before. Carry some more stuff. We don't want to have to say, well, we could do this if we had this piece of equipment or that piece of equipment, but we don't. So, what do we do? So that's kind of why they are a tad bigger and, carry some more stuff. And then along with that, this TRT thing has been in the works for some time. It's not something that just happened overnight. We've known about, the goal of staffing at least one of the county rescue squads with TRT folks for some time. It's been a couple of years in the making. So that's part of the reason that there is some equipment that some might call TRT level equipment. we kind of knew that was coming. And the other thing is, if you have, even before this, if you have the right people on there that know how to use some of the more eccentric equipment, well, then I think you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the game. Um, so you can kind of get started on things. Like I said before, if Station 31 is on a call and it's not a slow station, that TRT vehicle may not get out right away. So we have a lot of resources at our fingertips there to get things rolling.
Yeah, and you talked about some of the things that are carried that aren't just related to vehicle extrication, right? Like there's heavy machinery, there's building collapse, or at least, like you said, a way to get things started, or some water rescues, some high angle stuff. So there's a lot of different capabilities there, right?
Yes, and I guess the big term today is all hazards. So that's kind of the way we looked at it. The 2008 Pierce squads had pretty much the same water rescue or ice rescue equipment that these units are carrying today. I think we just have a better delivery setup or platform to store that equipment and to use that equipment from. And we didn't even go over the equipment that's on the top compartments of these units. There's quite a few things up there as well. There's a lot of different capabilities with regard to anchoring in whether it be concrete or if we're at Carter Rock or something like that. We've got a lot of stuff to do that with that we did not have before. And, that could be lifting a piece of concrete that roof or a wall of a building or something like that. We have some stuff for that. There is a full size hand cart or hand truck, if you will, up there that we can transport cribbing with, or lifting cylinders or heavy airbags or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of stuff up on the top. There's some basic confined space equipment, ventilation fans, ducting, and stuff like that. Again, if you have a bad atmosphere, you got to get that taken care of right away. And if it takes a confined space unit some time to get there, we can at least get there, get ventilation going. So yeah, there's a whole host of things that we didn't even have time to look at. So definitely all hazards.
Yep, that's awesome. Thank you for giving us just that basic rundown, and yeah, just a lot there. And like you said, having the specially trained folks that really know how to use it and when to put it into play is pretty key. So um, I don't really want to. Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. Sorry, just a little off-camera discussion. Um, so again, thanks to Chief Cooper for setting the foundation here. I don't really want to turn this into the ops chief show, but I do want to communicate that one of my top priorities is obviously the health and safety of our members. So as we're talking to folks that are wheeling the rig, and just know that we're pretty focused on collisions and preventing collisions. So please be mindful of your daily driving habits, and just know that there's probably more to come about that. And then one of the other things that we're looking at, that we're going to be looking at in our next episode, is ensuring that our folks, when they go to incidents that require it, are going through some sort of a decon and a rehab process. So I think in 2 weeks we're having another episode, but we'll look at the new old, but it's mostly new Air 16 and the equipment that it's carrying. And we're also going to be looking at the new cistern at Station 14. So that should be a pretty good show. Um, it's really all I had for today. Uh, Mike, thanks for being on. Anything else that you want to add or talk about?
No, just I have, I guess, as of today, I have about 6 more months to go here. And if anybody has questions or thoughts about the rescue squads, by all means, reach out, email, call me. You can also call Mike Johns at 29. I'm sure he would be more than willing I don't work there anymore, so I'm not really getting the benefit of having all that nice stuff to use on a daily basis. But still have a pretty good idea of how we set everything up and what's on there. And yeah, if I can answer a question, I'd be happy to. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Rave. I am familiar with Rescue 42s. I would say that until Chief Bezos or whomever decides to put those tools on there, I don't know that they're going to be of much good to us. But they're certainly a viable lightweight type of strut, for basic stabilization. Again, that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I think that we're set up with the rescue squads and then the rescue trucks. I don't see us putting extrication tools on engines. Obviously, we do have them on at Company 14, just because the closest company is at least 15 minutes away. Um, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with those. If you can get the county to buy them, that's great.
Yeah, so there was a question that came in through the chat that Mike was answering about putting in tieback tools. And so just for my previous chair, like the normal, well, I don't want to call it normal, the non-rescue engine, particularly the Pierces and the E1s are just maxed out in terms of space. So trying to put any type of additional equipment on those is problematic. For the rescue engines, so rescue engine 714 is obviously is the only one that's that the county owns right now. You know, I think it's Mike. You know better than I what kind of equipment it's got on for tiebacks, but
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm assuming that if 17 remains a rescue engine, it's going to be the way I understand it's going to be almost identical eventually to rescue engine at 14.
that's correct.
But we're using the same equipment. We're using Paratech struts, the gray Paratech struts. I think there's a lot to be said for standardized equipment, so that if we're using Paratech on the last trucks and using Paratechs on the rescue squads, that we should probably be using those on the engine companies as well. Something like a Rescue 42 that's a composite plastic. It's nice. It is lightweight. I don't know that it takes up any less space. But again, I think there's a lot to be said for everybody using the same piece of equipment. So there's a little bit less of a learning curve, particularly for the new folks or folks who aren't used to riding one of those pieces. So I think it's if that's something that folks wanted to look into, maybe the next round of rescue engines, whenever that might be, maybe they could look into that if they chose.
Yep, no, very good point about the benefits of standardization. It's just easier to train, easier to buy, easier to maintain, yada yada yada. So okay, all right. Well, unfortunately, Mandy and I don't know sign language, so uh, we've been unable to communicate. But appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'm sure we'll be announcing our next episode. It's in the middle of July, and again, we'll be talking about Air Unit 16 and the new cistern at Station 14. And just hope you all have a great day and be safe.